Thank you for joining the Essential Therapies podcast. Dr. Cindy here. I have just a quick update. It's been a busy week. Last week there was the British Fascia Symposium on Zoom for the entire weekend, and it was just really great to be in a place where so many people were talking about fascia and this just amazing development of how we have grown in our understanding. So I just wanted to take a moment because it reminded me of something that I heard again this week, and I've heard often over the years, especially from people who've had unusual pains in their bodies or all kinds of different conditions going on. And maybe you know someone, or maybe you yourself have had a situation where you've been to the doctor, you have some discomfort going on, you don't really know what it is, and the doctor decides to either maybe put you on a medication, see if that helps, and if it doesn't, well, maybe we need to do some more checking, and then the whole slew of medical testing begins, right? And it's like you are kind of concerned because you're afraid of what they might find, but so you don't really want them to find anything, but then after a whole slew of tests, they find, hey, there's nothing wrong. And what my patients tell me when they sometimes finally get to me after a long journey of finding other things that haven't worked is they've either felt like the medical system was telling them it's all in your head, or some patients, believe it or not, have had their doctor actually tell them it's in your head, or it must be in your head. And I'm here to say it's not in your head, it's in your fascia. So I see this so often. And remember, the fascia is invisible in MRI, X-ray, CT, so many of our testing options, but it is the main thing that is controlling everything else in the body. So now we are finally realizing this, at least parts of the fascia community that is studying this. So there's a whole world of medicine that hasn't had the time or desire or even know that it's out there, this research that has been happening in fascia over the years. So for example, let me just mention that biotensegrity, which if you have heard some of my other talks, especially with Carol Davis, we talked about biotensegrity, but it's this concept now that we have of the body that it is a push-pull system. We'll just put that real simply there. And fascia is the substrate that is doing this whole push-pull. And we need this new framework to be introduced to medicine for them to fully understand some of the things that are causing pain throughout the body. So it becomes frustrating sometimes, not only as a patient, but as a practitioner, when I'll see someone who's come to me with, let's say, a knee pain or a hip pain, and they've gone through all kinds of treatments. Maybe they've had medication, maybe surgery, or several rounds of physical therapy, and they're still having a problem. And it's just because the fascial system wasn't understood and how the biotensegrity nature of the body controls this push-pull system in our body. So unfortunately, what ends up happening often is a style of therapy that creates even more tension and possibly more pain in the body. What we now know also is that fascia also houses our consciousness. So as an immediate communication throughout all of the cells in the body, the fascia, these microtubules, bringing information all at every moment throughout every single cell of the body, and is basically a web of interaction, which surprisingly enough is also affected by our thoughts. So let me explain. It's often that I can be working on a patient in a certain area of their body, and I encourage people to be present in their body while we're working and feel what my hands are doing, which is just connecting in and feel what their body is telling them. Maybe they will feel another area of their body far from where I'm treating, and it helps to create a connection for them to their body. But also what I will notice is sometimes I'm working in an area and I'm not feeling a connection or a response that I would like, or it's hard to even explain here, but I can tell that the patient isn't with me, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not paying attention to exactly what I'm doing. And so all I have to say is, breathe into this area, or bring your attention here where my hands are, or some other similar guiding remark, and almost instantly and very quickly, if they understand what I'm saying, I feel a difference in that tissue. So if that thought, there's a thought that can happen that can bring a change in the body, there's evidence enough for me that all of this is connected. Our awareness, our thoughts, every cell in the body, and also our intentions. So if we take that idea of belief and being open, for example, to healing and improved function, mobility, we are giving the body a chance to fully recover and repair. I believe when we put our emphasis as practitioners to the fascia rather than the muscles and bones, we're able to properly treat the body-mind to improve mobility, function, and minimize pain. And really to be able to do more of the things that we enjoy and fulfill our lives. So don't miss my talk next week. I'm talking with Carol Davis, summing up some amazing thoughts on the biotensegrity topics of the British Fascia Symposium about light touch and just how far the awareness of fascia has come, and what John Barnes has been teaching for decades is now coming to the forefront, and hopefully soon will be more recognized in traditional medicine. Thank you for joining, and have a great day.